say shalom. We'll get started here shortly. Right. And make sure we live real quick. In 1 second. Bobby the shot. Yahweh, and his son's name, who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Also giving praise, honor, and glory unto the HaKadosh, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim or Akwah. That's you brothers and sisters that make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and who rule well. And today's lesson, we're just gonna get straight to the point, man. You know, as the title says, you know, don't box the Lord in. Don't box Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah in, because you know, what inspired this lesson, you know, I was you know, reading through the book of Judith, you know, specifically the 7th and 8th chapter, and you have particular of the elders, the elder Uzziah, pretty much the Assyrians, well, not just the Assyrians, but a conglomerate of nations, which consisted of the Edomites, the Ammonites, the Assyrians, pretty much all the nations that were in cahoots with Nebuchadnezzar at that time, right? They were conspiring to pretty much cut us off, to cut Judah off. And what they were doing in that time, they were taking away our water. You know, they besieged our water, they besieged our food. They had us in straits, man. You know, so we see the same thing happening right now, right? You got all these nations, once again, they're taking crafty counsel, right? They got they had that WHO, the WHO, you know, council meeting all week, and I just got word. I just had an article pop up on my phone, you know, shortly before, you know, turn on this lesson. Pretty much how, hey, they were so-called successful, you know, in getting their agenda passed, you know, through law, you know. So now you got all these nations, you know, they're pretty much about to fulfill in their mind their heart's desire, which is to cut off the nation of Israel, you know. But during that time, you know, in Judith, you know, in the book of Judith, you had particular of our people, they're basically boxing the Lord in, saying, well, if he doesn't come and help us within 5 days, we're going to go ahead and give ourselves up unto the Assyrians. We're going to give our little ones up, give our wives up, give ourselves up as spoils of war, right? But you had a woman that the Lord set aside, right? Her name was Judith, right? And she pretty much symbolizes the elect woman of Yahweh Shema Shah, which is the church, man, right? And all right, now, and what she did, she pretty much exhorted, you know, and warned, you know, those men, you know, who was putting the Lord in the box. So let's grab this, because we're living in those times where we're going to have faith, man. Like, we can't put the Lord in the box saying, well, if he doesn't come within 5 days, if he doesn't come within 5 days, or however, whatever amount of time you have in your mind to where you feel like the Lord should come and save you, right? The Lord ain't going to defend you, man. Scriptures tell you in Sirach, the 2nd chapter. We can open up with that real quick. Let's open up in Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 2. And we can start at verse 2. Get straight to the point. Set thy heart aright, meaning your mind, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So the main point is to don't haste those particular hard times that the Lord's about to put us in when he's trying us, man. All right, because you may go a day or two without eating, but you shouldn't say, all right, well, if I don't eat tomorrow, if the Lord don't feed me tomorrow, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the chip. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn myself in and go to the nearest FEMA camp. It don't work like that. The Lord's, let's get that in Isaiah 55. The Lord's thoughts is way different than our thoughts, man. Now, of course, you know, we pride ourselves on having, you know, the mind of Hamashiach Yahushua, right? But there's still particular things that the Lord ain't revealed unto us. The Lord ain't gonna give us all the secrets. The Lord ain't gonna tell us all his plans and intents and purposes, right? That's what he says in Deuteronomy chapter 29 and 29, right? For the secret things belong to the Lord, but the things which he has made known, he has given us unto us in our seed, so we can obey all the words of this law, right? So we can't put the Lord in the box just because we don't see him coming through how we figured he would. You know, you may have it in your mind that the Lord, well, I believe during the time of Jacob's trouble, the Lord going to have me to, you know, flee to the mountains, and he's going to feed me, you know, from the fish of the rivers, and, you know, teach me how to fish. And no, we don't know, you know, exactly how the scenario is going to play out, but we're going to have to trust him no matter what. And the Lord's going to put us all in situations to where if it seems like there is no hope whatsoever, he's gonna put us all in situations as if like it ain't gonna work out. But that's how his power and his might is displayed through particular circumstances, you know, that makes it seem that seems like there's no other way out. That's why he's known as the God or the power of salvation. All right. So let's get this. Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 8 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So this is why the Spirit's been upon us, I know it was last camp, I think, this past Friday when we were holding camp, the Spirit had us to bring out, like, how we got to remain spiritual in these times, man. We can't judge particular things that happen to us, or particular judgments that happen upon planet Earth that we're going to see and witness. We can't judge it from a carnal perspective. We have to judge everything through a spiritual lens, if you will. Why? Because the Lord's mind is not like our mind. You're dealing with the power that put a fireball up in the sky and has been floating up there since. So how do you think that there's no possible way you can rationalize what he's doing, right? You just got to firmly trust and believe in Romans the 8th chapter, where he says, "For all things work together for the good of those who love the Most High and who are called according to his purposes," man. You got to truly believe that all things work together for the good, all right? Whether it may be good or bad. If you're a part of that number, everything that the Lord's putting you through and everything that the Lord's doing upon planet Earth is working for your benefit, right? So let's get into this in the book of Judith. Like I said, I want to get straight to the point. We got class here in a second. This is the book of Judith. We can start at verse, let's see, give me 1 second, find that. Here we go. Judith chapter 8. As a matter of fact, let's start at Judith. This is Judith chapter 7 and verse 30. And this is during a time, like we said earlier, when the Assyrians were boxing us in, man. The Assyrians were, they were cutting off our water supply. They were cutting off our food supply by besieging our city. And do we not see that happening right now? There's an attack on your food. There's an attack on your water. There's an attack on your power, your electricity, right? And you may not eat within a couple of days, your family, your little children, right? Because in this same chapter, right? And I encourage you, Akim and you Aqua, to read over this. This is a very powerful, book that speaks volumes even down to this day. That we're living in the same situation that our forefathers and foremothers had to go through, right? And certain of our people, they were fainting, they were very thirsty. They were fainting for thirst in the cities, right? And they were pretty much ready to bow the knee unto the Assyrians, man. All right, so let's get this. This is Judith 7 and verse 30. Let's start at verse 25. "For now we have no helper, but the Most High have sold us into their hands, that we should be thrown down before them with thirst and great destruction. That was the mindset of our people, man. They totally lost faith. Now, before this, when you read a chapter prior, or 2 chapters prior, our people, they were worshiping the Lord. They were falling down upon their knees, fasting and prayer and praying, and the Lord heard them. He showed himself unto them. But now, once they got in distress, once they got in straits from what the enemies were doing unto them, now we see their mindset. They totally lost faith, said that we don't have a helper. You know, maybe the Lord has forgotten about us, man. We thought that he was going to feed us. What was the purpose of us turning away from these different gods? And this was during a time of where our people, when we came back from the captivity of Babylon, and we rededicated the temple, you know, and the Lord was dealing with us. But now, once tribulation came, when those particular nations came, you know, our people were starting to lose faith. Seeing their little sons and daughters, you know, fainting for thirst in the cities because the enemies took control of our water supply at Bethulia. Right? So skipping down to verse 30, then said Ozias, or also Uzziah, to them, brethren, be of good courage. Let us yet endure 5 days, in which space the Lord our power may turn his mercy towards us, for he will not forsake us utterly. So his mindset, you know, Uzziah's mindset was, well, let's just wait it out 5 more days. And let's just see what the Lord's going to do within 5 more days. So he was pretty much boxing the Lord in, you know. Let's keep reading. He says, and if these days pass, so if these 5 days pass, and there come no help unto us, I will do according to your word. And their word, the Israelites' word, was like, let's just go ahead and surrender unto our enemies. He says, and he dispersed the people, everyone to their own charge, and they went unto the walls and towers of their city, and sent the women and children into their houses, and they were very low brought in the city. So after that meeting, everybody just went back into their homes, and their whole morale, their mindset was low. Now, skipping here to the 8th chapter, right? The Lord rose up a woman named Judith, which you go into her name. Her name means she will be praised, or something along those lines. She will be praised. And once again, this is, although this was an actual story, it also speaks spiritual. It's also spiritual, you know, because she represents the elect, you know, the elect woman of Yahweh Shema Shah. And she was a widow. And that's pretty much what we're known as right now, a widow without a husband. But see, the Lord he's espousing us to our husband, Yahweh Shah, right now. But before that, he's going to have to test our fidelity and test our faith towards him to see if we're going to truly believe in his saving power when it looks like there is no way out. Right? So let's get into it. This is Judith chapter 8 and we can start at verse 11. This is Judith speaking, and she says, and they came unto her, and she said unto them, hear me now, O you governors of the inhabitants of Bethulia, for your words that you have spoken before the people this day are not right. Yeah, what you said unto our people was not right. Telling our people, well, let's just give the Lord 5 more days. And then if he don't come, we'll bow our knee unto our enemies so they can finally feed us. Right? So she said, your words that you have spoken before the people this day are not right, touching or concerning this oath which you made and pronounced between the Most High and you, and have promised to deliver the city to our enemies, unless within these days the Lord turn to help you. And that's all Esau wants. Esau wants us to bow the knee unto him, man. This whole ordeal, you know, these crafty councils, you know, the heathens raging and imagining a vain thing. Revelation the 13th chapter is all about the Israelites bowing the knee unto Esau, man. And as soon as that happens, once that happens, man, you know, we get disqualified from salvation. See, because Esau knows, man. Esau knows who we are. Esau knows that our power is set up defender. It tells you that in the same book, Judith the 5th chapter, how you had a particular heathen. I believe he was an Ammonite, and he was pretty much telling Holofernes, which was the general of Nebuchadnezzar. He was like, hey, you know, as long as these people are obedient unto their Lord, unto their master, unto their power, right, he's going to defend them. But the only way you can overtake these people is if they sin, if they serve other gods. Right? So everything that we see happen upon planet Earth, everything that Esau's doing, such as this damn week-long council that they just had in Geneva, Switzerland. It's an effort to try to make as many Israelites. He don't give a damn about the whole world, because these other nations, they can serve these other gods. They don't have a relationship. They're not under a covenant with Yahweh Shema Shah like we are. But everything is about the children of Israel bowing the knee unto them, man. But once again, you got a small elect number. You have a woman that's going to stand stiffly for her husband, man. She's going to have faith in him and not bow the knee unto the enemies, man. So going back, Judith 8 and verse 12, and now who are you that you have tempted the Most High this day, and stand instead of the Most High among the children of men? And now try the Lord Almighty. So she was basically saying, man, you're testing the Lord. You're tempting the Lord, man, by trying to box him in. Says, but you shall never know anything, for you cannot find out the depth of the heart of man, neither can you perceive the things that he thinketh. Then how can you search out the Most High, that have made all these things, and know his mind, or comprehend his purpose? Nay, my brethren, provoke not the Lord our power to anger. So that's why we pull Isaiah 55 earlier, where the Lord says, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, my ways are higher than your ways. See, just because the Lord may not come through the way how we figure he should have, or thought that he was, that doesn't mean that he's still not going to save you, man. You have to cleave unto him unto the very end. Because salvation, that's why scripture says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, it says the strangeness of salvation. Salvation is strange. It's going to be even strange unto us, although we know, particularly like a generalization of how we're going to be saved. It's going to be during, harsh times. We're going to be saved by chariots. The Lord's going to be bringing forth fire, but it's still going to be strange unto us, even us, man, when things are actually, when it's actually being played out. But you got to trust, man. Hey, you can't box the Lord in. Let's get this in Luke, the 1st chapter, real quick. This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 37. For with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. You got to have that mindset. Nothing is impossible. As long as you have Yahweh Shema Shah. No matter what type of situation you find yourself in. Hey, I was watching the movie Blackout yesterday. Elder Yashawamba had, recommended the brothers, to watch that movie American Blackout. And pretty much in that movie, it was pretty much giving you like a snippet of or inside view of different people's, life. When the power grid got shut off by EMP attack. And one scene in particular, these people got stuck on an elevator. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, well, am I going to have enough faith? Like, if that happens and I'm stuck in an elevator with a bunch of weirdos and the lights are out, and I might be up on a 42nd floor stuck in an elevator. Am I still going to believe that Yahweh Shema Shah can save me? See, that's why Luke, the 1st chapter, just says, for with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. You got to have a mindset, man. Hey, the Lord can send an angel right now and open up this elevator. He could do that. Or the Lord can just put the power back on right there in that little area, just so my elevator can go back down to the 1st floor, so I can get the hell out. Those are the type of situations we're going to find ourselves in, man. Because that movie was pretty, it was showing you like real life scenarios that's going to happen, that will happen when these particular EMP attacks come, famines and all those things, man. Because we living in the same world, doing the same activities that these people doing, going to work, driving back home from work in traffic, getting in elevators, But you got to believe, man, hey, I've been serving Yahweh Shema Shah with my whole heart. So he promised, man, he's going to deliver me. So no matter what, you can't box him in. And he knows your mindset too, man. He knows your mindset. So that's why it's important, man. Hey, when those harsh times do come, those testing times do come, make sure your mind is in the right place. So going back, Judith chapter 8 and verse 15. For if he will not help us within these 5 days, he has power to defend us when he will, even every day, or to destroy us before our enemies. So she had that mindset like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Like, hey, even if he don't defend us within 5 days, he still can defend us. It may be on the 7th day. It could be on the 8th day. See? What scriptures tell you? His arm is not too short to where it cannot save. So going back, verse 16 is the main point. She says, do not bind the counsels of Yahweh Bashmal Shah, our power. What does bind mean? Bind means to restrain, to confine, to restrict. And that's why we got the lesson, the title of the lesson, don't box the Lord in, don't bind his counsels. This is why we push prophecy, man. You know, because prophecy, hey, you can't box prophecy in. Prophecy tells you there's going to be a time of trouble such as never was since there's a nation, but thy people shall be saved. So you gotta understand, although we're coming to a time of trouble such as never was since there's a nation, prophecy says that there's going to be somebody who's going to be delivered. Now, how that's going to look like, we don't know. You know, we prophesy in part, know in part, but we know we cannot bind the counsels of the Lord. He's not a man that he should lie. He said we're going to be saved, so we're going to leave it at that, right? So she says, do not bind the counsels of Yahweh Bashmal Shah, our power, for the Most High is not as man. So he's not like man. Why? Because man is limited, you know, like a fireman. You know, he's limited. Like, even though like firemen are known to be heroes and they save people out of fires, they're limited on what they can do. Their strength is limited on saving you. I know this from personal experience. I used to be a fireman. If a house is too engulfed in flames, we're not going in there. If a house is fully involved in fire, we can't save you. But with the Lord, he can. See? Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that fiery furnace was fully inflamed. But the Lord ain't like man. Hey, Nebuchadnezzar found a 4th man in the fire. That was Yahweh Shah, man. So the Lord is not, his arm is not too short to where it cannot save, man. And this is why he's known, Yahweh Shah's name means what? He that delivers, he that saves. That's who he is. He's the God of salvation. That's how he shines, man. He shines in troublous times. Yahweh Shah shines when shit hits the fan. That's how he gets a name above every name, man. So, you know, this message, you know, Lord willing, you know, is comforting you, man, because hey, man, we about to come into some badass times, man. Some horrible times. You know, Lord willing, I'll do a lesson at night, you know, concerning some current news, you know, that's happening. Man, it's looking bad. It's looking bad, but you got to understand, we can't box the Lord in. It looks like Esau about to be successful as hell, man. You know, but we know he's not going to be. So going back, Judith 8 and 16, do not bind do not bind the counsels of the Lord our power. For the Most High is not as man, that he may be threatened. Neither is he as the son of man, that he should be wavering. Yeah, the Lord ain't double-minded. Like, oh, can I save him? Can I save her? No, the Lord, hey, he made everything, man. He made the situation that you in. So, of course, he can save you out of it if he wants to. So going back, it says, therefore, verse 17, therefore, let us wait for salvation of him. So we're just simply at the disposal of the Lord. All we can do is just wait. That's it. That's why we don't advocate for you, you know, to try to go get power in your own arms. You know, stock up on bullets, stock up on a whole bunch of food. At the end of the day, man, you just gotta wait. You gotta wait this thing out. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I keep referencing them, man, in Daniel 3rd chapter. They was thrown in the fiery furnace, man. But they had to wait for the Lord to come deliver them. Daniel in the lion's den. We don't, you know, he had to wait those 3 days, man. So, hey, man, just wait. As scriptures tell you in Zechariah the 9th chapter, how he had made us prisoners of hope. A prisoner is locked in. Hey, they ain't nowhere they could go. That's it. He put us in the arena of faith, of hope. And there ain't nowhere else we can go, man. You know, so we just gotta wait this thing out. Just wait for the Lord to come save us, man. Let's get straight to the point. We're gonna skip down to verse 24. She says, "Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us." Yeah, that's right. We got to be an example unto our brothers and to our sisters, man. You know, especially us brothers that the Lord has charged us to, you know, go out there and teach. You know, we have to be an example on the camera and off the camera, because you have people that's looking up unto you, depending upon you, man. You know, what did Paul say in Titus, the 2nd chapter? He says, "Be thou an example unto the believers." You know, so you gotta, if you have a fearful mindset, you know, if you're a leader or you're a brother that's put, you know, in a position to where, you know, you have, you know, eyes set on you or whatever, you can't push forth a vibration of fearfulness or doubt or wavering. Because what that's going to do, that's going to trickle down into whoever is looking up to you. Now they're going to be like, well, damn, you know, they're going to be scatterbrained. They ain't going to know what to do in these times. All right. So she says, "Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us, and the sanctuary and the house and the altar rest upon us." And that's the house of David. See, the house of David has a charge laid out for him, man. You know, the elect is the hope of bringing all the nation of Israel back, just as Noah was. Noah was the hope, man. Everything rested upon Noah, man. You know, if Noah didn't fulfill what he was what he was supposed to have done, there would be no sons of God. There would be no Israel. There'll be no more flesh. There'll be no more flesh, man. So that's how we gotta view it, man. If we don't get this task fulfilled, you know, hey, shit. There will be no Israel being brought, but we know it's going to happen, you know. But that's just the type of mindset you got to have. The necessity that's got to be laid upon you. Like, I got to do this, man. My family depends upon me, you know, because, you know, like in the world, like we know, like our parents, you know, most of our parents, our siblings, you know, they done, man. They done, you know, but you got to have a mind. Like, I know me personally, man, like, you know, Lord willing, like the Lord delivers my father, you know. But if he doesn't, you know, like that's what makes me push even harder. Like, man, hey, Lord willing, like through me, the Lord can bring my father back, you know, through my loins, you know, in the kingdom. So that's what make you want to go harder in this truth, man. Knowing that your brethren, you know, your family, the nation of Israel depends upon you, man. See? So going back, verse 25. "Moreover, let us give thanks to Yahweh B'Shema Shah, our power, which trieth us, even as he did our fathers." Yeah, he's trying you, even as he did our forefathers that came before us. You know, that's why Peter tells us in 1 Peter the 4th chapter, don't count it as some strange thing that happened unto you. You know, the fiery trial which happened unto you, don't count it as a strange thing. Why? Because everybody that came into this truth, you know, the Lord tried them, man. So don't think just because it happened unto you, you know, woe is me, you know. The Lord can't, no, man. The Lord's just testing you out just like he did there. It's just the initiation process, man. Verse 26, "Remember what things he did to Abraham, and how he tried Isaac, and what happened to Jacob in Mesopotamia of Syria, when he kept the sheep of Laban his mother's brother. For he have not tried us in the fire as he did them. For the examination of their hearts, meaning their minds, neither hath he taken vengeance on us. But the Lord doth scourge them that come near unto him, to admonish them." See, because, hey, the Lord, so far, he hasn't tried us like he tried our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But we coming to that point to where he's about to. See? You know, but you got to understand that anybody that comes closer to the Lord, he will scourge you, man. You know, he will test you out. Sirach the 6th chapter says, if you get a friend, prove him first. So that's what the Lord's doing to us. Now let me get straight to the point. We're gonna wrap it on out in Romans 4. Because scriptures tell you in Isaiah 51, you know, hey, look unto Abraham your father and Sarah your mother that bare thee. So pretty much jog your memory back into the ancient past, to the ancient way, to how things used to be. All right, and this is what we're doing. We look, and that's why Judith just told us to remember Abraham, remember Isaac, remember Jacob, right? Because these forefathers of ours, you know, that passed the test, those some beautiful examples to look unto in these times, man. So let's get this in Romans 4. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Let's see how Abraham conducted himself, man. Romans 4, and we can start at verse 19. It says, let's start at verse 18. Even, this is the NLT version, it says, even when there was no reason for hope, Abraham kept hoping. Woo! Come on, man. Come on, man. That should pump you up. Read this again. Even when there was no reason for hope, Abraham kept hoping, believing that he would become the father of many nations. That's the same. The Lord don't put us in the same situations. Like it doesn't, like carnally, logically, it doesn't make sense for you to keep having faith, man. And that's how Abraham was. The Lord told Abraham, as soon as he got his son Isaac, hey, go sacrifice him. But Abraham kept believing, like, all right, I know he just told me to sacrifice my only son, right? Like, how else am I gonna have be a father of many nations? You know, and he telling me to kill my son, but I'ma still believe in him. Why? Because for there's nothing impossible with Yahweh Shema Shah. So he says, read that again. Even when there was no reason for hope, Abraham kept hoping, believing that he would become the father of many nations. For the Most High have said to him, that's how many descendants you will have. And Abraham's faith did not weaken. See, his faith did not weaken. Every day, Abraham's faith was getting stronger and stronger and stronger in Yahweh Shema Shah. So it says, Abraham never wavered in believing the Most High's promise. In fact, his faith grew stronger, and in this he brought glory to the Most High. He was fully convinced that the Most High is able to do whatever he promises. He was fully convinced that the Most High is able to do whatever he promises, man. What the Lord promised for us in this time, that a remnant shall be saved. So we got to be fully convinced, man. No matter, hey, you got to believe that you're part of that number, man. What's the point of being in this truth and you don't believe you're part of that number? So you got to believe, man, no matter what the Lord's going to put me through, I believe I'm going to be saved. Even when there's no reason for you to hope. Still got to believe it, man. See? And this right here, this is why Yahweh shall said in Luke 18:8, when I come, shall I find faith on the earth, man. Because it's about to be some times, man, everybody's faith is about to be shaken. These so-called Christians that say they believe in Jesus, man, that first day, man, they faith done right now. They over here praying for gas prices to get back low, but every day gas prices getting higher and higher. So they done lost their faith already, man. Can't figure out why all these mass shootings going on. Can't figure out why there's so much hate and division in the world. So they done lost their faith already, man. See? But you should be getting stronger, man, because we got the answers. We got the counsel of Yahweh Shema Shah. And we know we can't box him in his counsels. Let's keep reading. It says, he was fully convinced that the Most High is able to do whatever he promises. And because of Abraham's faith, the Most High counted him as righteous. That's how you become righteous, man. All right? And when the Most High counted him as righteous, it wasn't just for Abraham's benefit. It was recorded, it was recorded for our benefit too, assuring us that the Most High will account us as righteous if we believe in him, the one who raised Yahweh Shah, our Lord, from the dead. See that? So it wasn't recorded just for Abraham, it was recorded for us as well. Abraham was an example unto us. See? So, the Lord willing, now is edifying, hey, like the lesson says, man, don't box Yahweh Shema Shah in. We coming in times to, man, we're coming in times to where You know, your flesh is going to want to do that. You know, just because you don't understand something on a carnal level, like, oh shit, man. You know, like maybe the Lord, maybe he can't deliver me out of this situation. I'm just too far gone. You know, like shit just got too bad. There's no possible way. No, man, can't think like that. You gotta remain spiritual, no matter what, man. No matter what happens, you can still be delivered as long as you keep that faith, man. So, you know, with that, I hope you brothers and sisters will edify. Until next time, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem.